Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some PathOfExile 1 discussion. Welcome to day 10 of Teaser Season, patch 3.26, the upcoming Secrets of the Atlas expansion. We are about halfway through Teaser Season at the moment, and we're starting to get to the juicy point, but we're not quite there yet. Today, there are two things that we're going to be discussing. The first one is an MTX promo Grinding Games are running that will enable you to get some free MTX if you're interested in 2 days' time. Actually, when I say 2 days, it's actually a bit less than 2 days, so I think 42 hours, 41 hours, that sort of time frame. The second thing we're going to be discussing was their main teaser video for today, which has a hidden frame in it. So that hidden frame relates to the future of gold. We'll come to that in a second. Anyways, let's talk firstly about the Twitch live drops. Twitch live drops is a promo Grinding Games run, basically to build a little bit of interest amongst enfranchised players in watching the main live stream announcement. Historically for PathOfExile 1, this has seen Grinding Games give away something from the back catalogue of MTX that they've accumulated over the years. Most of the time this will be a cloak or a set of wings, some sort of back attachment, and it'll be something that enfranchised players either already own or have already made a decision, you know what, I'm not really that interested in that. I'm certainly not buying it at full price, I might take it if it's free. This time they're doing something different. This time they're providing a brand new MTX. This is going to be a helmet MTX, and it's going to be one that is going to also have a little bit of a gimmick attached to it. So the undeath themed helmet looks kind of cool. And on top of that, it also provides a counter for the number of times your character has died, and also the number of monsters your character has killed. Now, these are statistics that the game tracks already, so you can just type /kills and /deaths, I think, in order to see these numbers in-game, but you can also share them. You can link this thing in global, and then if your KDR is as bad as mine is likely to be, then all sorts of other people that see that can then have a little bit of a laugh at your expense. It's all fun and games. The key things that are important to know about this: I'm going to be rebroadcasting Grinding Games' announcements with my commentary. That's going to be taking place over on my Twitch. I mostly use YouTube these days. I don't use Twitch all that much, but I do fire it up when these major announcements happen, and that's largely because of these Twitch drop promos. But you don't have to watch my channel. You don't have to watch Grinding Games' official channel either. If there's someone else that you want to watch, you can do that there too, as long as they're streaming in the PathOfExile 1 category. Actually doesn't matter if they're watching the announcement or not. They could be playing the game. They could be playing around in Path of Building. All of this will work. That said, there's a pretty good chance we'll get patch notes in 2 days' time. And if that happens, then there's going to be a lot of discussion of those that'll be taking place. I'm actually going to do my discussion of patch notes on YouTube instead of on Twitch, but other people will be over on Twitch as well if you haven't got your 45 minutes of accumulated watch time yet. So lots of options there. Make sure though that you have connected your Grinding Games account to your Twitch account beforehand. And down in the description of this, I will put a link to where exactly Grinding Games' official announcement is. You'll just need to go and log into Twitch first, then visit your Twitch settings page, and then you'll be able to connect your account there. All administrivia related to free MTX out of the way. Let's talk about the overt and the covert teasers over in today's video on essences and strongboxes. So let's start with the covert teaser, shall we? Have a look at this little tooltip here for gold. This is only visible in the video for 1 frame. That's all. Gold can be spent at vendors. What does this say at the moment in PathOfExile 1? It says used as currency in Kingsmarch. This to me is the most compelling evidence yet that Kingsmarch is not going to go core. The reason I say this is that I think the wording would be different if it was possible to spend gold on distinctly not vendor things that you can do at Kingsmarch, such as re-rolling the list of available NPCs to work for you, or paying hourly wages to your farmers. All of these things are ways to spend gold that are distinctly not at vendors, and the precise wording that I would use if I wanted to convey that Kingsmarch was going core would be can be spent at vendors or in Kingsmarch. We'll get absolute confirmation of that in a few days' time. However, Kingsmarch itself may remain as some sort of hub. That we'll have to see. That I think is one of the biggest hidden things Grinding Games have put in here. And like I said, it is only a single frame. If you're watching this on PC, you can modify which frame you're looking at just by pressing less than or greater than buttons. And you'll see 1 frame earlier, not there. Then it's up for 1 frame. 1 frame later, it's gone. I bet it took a lot of attempts for Grinding Games to record this so that it only showed in 1 frame. Anyways, the other information Grinding Games put out today was that some of the quality of life features that have been added to PathOfExile 2 related to Strongboxes and essences, they are getting backported into PathOfExile 1. So you can see here under this Horror Spring Armorer's Strongbox that you have a button to instantly apply a Scouring Orb to it, a button to instantly apply a Vaal Orb to it, and when the character had Chaos Orbs, which they do not currently, but when they did have Chaos Orbs, there was a button to apply a Chaos Orb to it. One thing that's not tested in this, we don't know whether this is going to include Exalted Orbs or not. I hope it doesn't, because Exalted Orbs in PathOfExile 1 are pretty rare, and whilst you could conceivably have a situation where you might use one on a Strongbox, I don't think it's ever a really smart choice. The example that's given is that Divine Orbs will not be listed. Even though you could divine these mods, and you still can right-click a Divine Orb and then apply it to the Strongbox, doing so is horrifically wasteful. It's a terrible decision in all circumstances, and so the game is not going to provide you a shortcut to do something that is ridiculously bad as a choice. Other things that are included on this, depending on the state of the Strongbox, will include things like Transmutation Orbs, Chance Orbs, Alchemy Orbs. Don't know about Regals, probably does, but it's not listed there. And also, probably most importantly of all, ID Scrolls. You have to have the currency in your character's inventory, and then it'll be able to be applied quickly. Lastly, Essences also have the same tech, but this time it applies to Remnants of Corruption. Now, I've seen a small amount of discussion online speculating that some of the changes that were made to Essences in PathOfExile 2, specifically the removal of the Remnant of Corruption and its replacement as just an additional functionality of the Vaal Orb, some people had speculated that that may actually be making its way to PathOfExile 1 as well. It looks like that is not the case. We're getting the quality of life of having this little button that you can press in order to apply a Remnant of Corruption directly to your Essence, as long as that Remnant of Corruption is in your inventory, but it will still be a separate currency. It will be a Remnant of Corruption, it will not be a Vaal Orb. I think what they're going for here is a bit of an indication they're sending to the player base. The design direction of PathOfExile 1 and 2 will diverge, and even in situations where a change that's made to design for PathOfExile 2 that would probably be well received in PathOfExile 1, like harmonizing the role of Remnants of Corruption into that of the Vaal Orb, whilst that would probably be well received, I think they want to send a message that the design directions of the two games are going to be different. So people that only like one game, they're not going to have to worry that there'll be major changes to that game because the other one exists. However, when there's a quality of life feature that fits in both, they'll implement it in both, and that's their plan here. Another thing that's come up a little bit with this, some people have discussed the Atlas Keystone Lucid Dreams. That allows you to craft Vaal side areas. Now, Vaal side areas are generally one of these kind of really forgotten about things. GGG did a bit of an overhaul of them a couple of leagues ago, but it ended up being worse than the pre-existing status quo. They also added a number of unique ones that almost no one ever sees. The reason for this is the only way that you can find a Vaal side area that's unique is to firstly spec into Vaal side areas on the tree, including the Keystone Lucid Dreams, and then do one of two really unpleasant things. The first one is go and blitz a whole bunch of different maps, looking for Vaal side areas, and when you find them, you need to apply a Vaal Orb to them. This is counterintuitive because you've just taken a keystone that says they're not corrupted, but corrupting a Vaal side area has a reasonable chance to turn it into a unique side area. There are 3 unique side areas. There's a common one that's trash, there's an uncommon one that's pretty good, it gives you a fractured incursion item, and there is a rare one that's very good, it gives you a full adorned. So there's a couple of reasons you might want to do this, but Vaaling the side areas takes a lot of time. It's really fiddly. You've got to go into a whole bunch of different maps. And the alternative is not Vaaling the side areas, but scour chancing them. This is utter misery. This is absolute pain. No one should ever do it. It will make you hate the game very, very quickly. It might give you RSI. You will definitely have no fun doing this. But if you do it, you will eventually get yourself an adorned. You will just have an absolutely miserable time the whole time while you're trying to do this, because you'll firstly scour chance it and you'll get the Endless Nightmare Zone, and that's nothing. You don't want that. It's really disappointing every time it shows up. Then you'll get a new side area. This time you'll get the Endless Nightmare again. Then you'll do it again. You get another Endless Nightmare. But each one of them, it's going to take you ages. You're going to hate the game while you're doing it. But eventually you will get yourself an adorned, and it'll probably be a low roll. All of that ranting about Lucid Dreams out of the way. Does this tech apply to Lucid Dreams and Vaal side areas? So far, there's no indication either way, which makes me think the answer is probably no, but chances are we'll find out in the patch notes, because this is just not some super important change. It's something that applies to so few people that perhaps grinding your games wouldn't make a big deal of it if they did make this change. Anyways, those are the changes. There are going to be some quality of life improvements to Strongboxes, quality of life improvements to Essences, there are going to be some Twitch drops, and probably most importantly is that very well hidden single frame of the text of gold changing from used as currency in Kingsmarch to can be spent at vendors. We'll have to see exactly what that means, whether it's going to mean that all the vendors in the game are now going to deal in gold, kind of like in PathOfExile 2, or whether they're still going to accept currency orbs like they do in PathOfExile 1 at the moment, but there'll be specific vendors that will take gold. That will likely be clarified in 2 days' time. I'm going to leave it there. May your Vaal orbs have interesting results.